Gotham. We never really gotten to see Gotham like this in the series.
Right.
Any other Batman iteration. What was the process for you to be able to kind of build this world?
It was a dream experience. I think because we were given quite a lot of um, latitude. The movie, the Batman by Matt Reeves, definitely set up the tone, right? It set up that color palette, the darkness, the look. Um, but it's a 2-hour movie, right? And now we get to live in this world for 8 hours. And that gave us a lot more room to say, hey, what does this neighborhood look like? What does, the places that are only mentioned, but now we actually get to go there. And how do we differentiate it from the familiar parts of Gotham? So we were in Crown Point for a lot of our story, which was the hardest hit part of Gotham. And what does that feel like, right? It's not your classic tall skyscrapers, but it's like the forgotten part of town with the skyscrapers behind it, and it was just a dream. We were Manhattan we filmed in Manhattan, which stood in for Gotham, which is just a dream. Like to be able to shoot in Manhattan and use it for everything it's worth was just a perfect starting point for
One
us.
of my favorite aspects was obviously we saw the Batman film and watched Gotham, get destroyed fundamentally. And now we're just like, oh, great, we see that. But how has it really got to explore what would happen? A destruction of a city.
Yeah.
How was that process kind of like, in the world, and building the Penguin's, lair, but showing the real world consequences.
Right. So the whole story arc of the Penguin is fundamentally hinged on the aftermath of the events of the movie. So we had to definitely acknowledge it. We couldn't just say, oh, reset button, this is Gotham. The whole story was about what happens after such a disaster. So we had to embrace, what does it look like 2 weeks after a flood? What does it look like in neighborhoods that don't have the money to recover from it? That kind of continuity is rare to get to revel in. And also when it's all there to support the characters, to tell us, what type of background does Victor come from? What is the Falcones? What does their home look like? Right, deep in. We filmed in Long Island, but we just got to take it further from where we were in the film and embrace that destruction not as eye candy or not just a spectacle, but know that those shots of destroyed Gotham are part of our story.
One of the things I like Arkham's Asylum was my favorite episode with Sophia's Descent into Hell. What was that process like building that? Because we haven't really seen Arkham in kind of like how it operates, but how was that process for that?
Right. So the movie established just a handful of Arkham shots. So our production designer pretty much ran with that design. The one interior hallway they had, and we made a whole labyrinth of those hallways. And for the exterior, that came to me of, well, what does this look like from afar? And in episode 1 and 2, the Penguin, Oz is watching from afar. And we were just given a lot of creative, as long as we embraced the tone of the show that, this is not an opulent city. This is a city that's seen better times. And so when we visualize Arkham or even Blackgate Prison, it was always about not to be grandiose, but almost treat it like if all went well, it would have been grandiose. But given the corruption that happens in a city like this, what do half-finished projects look like? What does a prison look like when the budget was probably cut halfway through?
Did you, as a visual effects artist, want to sneak in Victor not dying at the end? Maybe change the director's vision? Because I love the scene, and I understand story-wise, but it was such a tragic moment.
It was tragic, and the ending. The original ending is, well, no, I can't say it. The ending was quite tragic, and maybe the most unexpected scene, I think, in the whole show. I got to tell you, that after The one question I asked my friends after they've seen the whole show was, do you think Oz took Victor to that park to do the deed? Did he plan it, or did he decide to do that halfway through the conversation?
He had to. Like he can't have that vulnerability. Right. That's why dramatically I think it's so brilliant.
Right.
And I agree with the twist, but it's sad because we love Vic. We love their relationship.
Yes. Yes. But that's what's so powerful about that scene. You can still look at it and ask yourself.
A lot of questions. Did he plan it or not?
Did he plan it? That lonely bench in the middle of nowhere?
Did it dawn on him right there that I can't be this vulnerable?
Or is it after Victor said, you're like family? Maybe that was a thing? I don't know, but that's what great writing is, and we're so just happy to be part of that and to contribute visually to those written words. What a dream.